have a crowded room today. I am so excited. I am so excited for this incredible community, this Open Mainframe Project, the vitality, the sustainability, the just overall excitement that we have in the community. And this, like I said, the sustainability of it just continuing. We started this, back in 2015, I think? And wow, how it has really grown. And we continue to add new projects. We continue to get more and more contributors. So I want to first of all thank this entire community for being here, for participating, for being active, and to truly caring about the Open Mainframe. Also, I want to thank a couple of people who really made today possible. All right, and I want them to stand up. First is May, who's already standing up in the back. Coordinator extraordinaire. Liz, the linchpin. All right, and Sherry, who keeps us all on our toes. All right, my name is Meredith Stowell, and I am part of our governing board representing IBM. And in my day job, I lead our IBM Z and Linux One community and our IBM Z and Linux One overall ecosystem. So all of the various projects and programs that we have around ISVs, around SIs, and really building out a talent pipeline. And once again, that vibrant community all around this incredible platform. And so today, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing from an Open Mainframe Project perspective, and we're definitely seeing some very consistent trends around some of the projects that we're working on. And I don't know if you noticed, but we did have a press release this morning, so I will talk a little bit about what was in that press release, but if you want more details, please be sure to go to that press release. There's all kinds of links in there. And then, of course, we also have a great program over the next few hours that are going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the topics that I'm just going to cover off. But one of the key themes that we're seeing across all of our projects is all around simplification and how can we make the developer's journey, the developer's experience better? How can we improve it? How can we ensure that it is consistent across all IT? It's not necessarily bespoke to the mainframe, right? How can we integrate it with the other tooling that's out there and available? And how can we also, the next trend, how can we participate from an AI perspective? And how can we ensure that we are leveraging AI and that we are a part of the AI movement, right? To help create automation. And once again, it all comes right back to improving that overall developer experience. So just kind of going to the vitality of this incredible community and the progress that we've made. Just today we did announce that Zowe LTS version 3 is now available. What does this mean? Obviously we've got all different types of capabilities that are coming in this latest version, but to me, the most important thing about this release is that once again, it continues to showcase that this community is active and it's moving forward, and we're continuing to make progress with it. And through the contributions of all of those individuals that are participating in the Zowe project, we're continuing to improve it and stay relevant with it. So be sure to check out all of these great new features that are in it, whether it's the install wizard. Now I know that we had the install wizard before, but that continues. It's that wizard to simplify the installation and configuration, which we know has sometimes been a little bit tough in the past. Improvements in overall Zowe Explorer for VS Code, but there's something new here around IntelliJ. And why is that so important? Once again, it's about bringing common tooling to the developers, making it easy to work with this platform, making it easy for us to get even more contributors to these various projects, and really building out that next generation, making sure that we're modern, that we're open, right, and that we're easy to work with. So how can we minimize the specialized skills that are needed for this platform while really leveraging the incredible innovation of the open source community? And I just want to touch on why open source, right? And I think many in this room already understand the value of open source. But in today's world, as you're probably seeing in your daily lives, things are moving fast, faster than ever before. Changes are coming faster than ever before. Disruptions are coming faster than ever before, right? It's not just about what's going on within the market, but it's about what's going on from a geopolitical perspective, what's going on from a cybersecurity perspective, what's going on just from a global climate perspective, right? Things are moving fast, and expectations of individuals who are interacting with technology are also continually increasing. Easy, right? It's got to be easy because they have to move so fast in order to get something new out there from a customer experience. Just look at what AI has done over the past, with Gen AI, over the past year, or even 2 years, where it was then versus where it is now. So to move fast, it takes a village. It takes a community. No one person, no one company can do it all, right? But if we come together, there's plenty of value to be had out there. And that's where open source comes in. How can we take a challenge that we have out there in the community that's common across all different companies, whether it's a vendor, whether it's a client, right? Whether it's an end user, and then how can we come together as a team of developers across that entire community to innovate new ways of doing things and new technology? It also helps from a company perspective. If you've got something that you're working on and you have a great idea that you want to pursue, that's going to help not only your solution, but maybe somebody else's solution, you can actually open source that. Maybe you don't have enough developers to focus on it, but it is a priority. Leverage the open source community, right? They want to add value. From a student community perspective, right? What is one of the best ways to differentiate yourself in today's incredibly competitive market? It's by coming out with actual skills. It's by having been a contributor in an open source project, right? Having participated, and then you can take that knowledge to your employer. So I encourage not only all of the students that are here, or anyone who's a developer that's looking to grow your career, definitely become a contributor to one of the projects, because that's going to once again set you apart, and you get new, different experiences that you wouldn't have had previously. All right, so that to me is why this announcement of Zowe is so important, is it really just culminates and highlights the importance of open source in this community, and that it's sustainable. Okay, so as I mentioned, one of the key things that we're seeing when we're looking at all of the various projects is how can we redefine that mainframe developer experience? How can we make it easier to work with the platform? How can we make it more seamless? How can we make it faster? How can we make it more common across the entire enterprise? So that no matter where you are in enterprise IT, you can go and work with whatever platform you want to, because all of the tooling is the same, but the benefits of each one of those platforms is going to be very different. And by having that common experience, you're able to put the workload or the application where it best fits, right? We all know the mainframe is not for everything. Not every workload belongs on the mainframe. But those with the characteristics that need that high level of transaction, that scalability, the security, right? The volumes, it's the best. Why? Because of the engineering behind it. And so it's not, oh, it's like, they might work on the mainframe, or this is, mainframe's kind of nice to have to run these on. This mainframe has been engineered specifically to be optimized for those types of workloads. And no other compute can equal it. Just like quantum computing. Can you do anything and everything on a quantum computer? No. Should you? No. But what it is really great at, it's the best at. And no other compute can do it. And that's just like the mainframe. But we've got to have that common developer experience. We've got plenty of seats up here for anybody in the back that wants to sit down. Come on up. Now, we've done quite a bit in this space, right? We've had that IDE integration, like I said, with VS Code, for example, through Zowe. We've got different types of testing. We've got COBOL Check and Galasa that is helping to improve that overall experience. But now we've got something new. We're going into code intelligence and open source tools. So we have 2 new projects that we want to announce today, and like I said, these are in the press release from today. The first one we're going to talk a little bit about is Zowe, which goes into code intelligence or over into the AI space, and then open source tools. This is something that has been donated to the project and donated to and open sourced by IBM, but it's being leveraged by more than just IBM. And we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits and why it's so important that this truly is an open source project and not just something that IBM is doing on their own. All right, here's a fun little one. As we all know, you can run, but you're not going to hide. AI is definitely here to stay, right? And in fact, AI is becoming more and more pervasive. But when we talk about AI, I just want to make it very clear that there is traditional AI, right? Machine learning type of AI that we've been used to using. Now we've got Gen AI, right, with the large language models. Totally different type of use case. And it's not an or. It's not traditional AI and Gen AI replaces everything that we've done with AI up until this point from a traditional perspective. It's an and. It's how do you use both, because there is still tons of value to be had from traditional AI. But now we've got Gen AI as well, right? Once again, that whole thing, it takes a village, holy smokes, there's a lot out there too, and there's a lot of value to be harnessed. But as we go into anything that's new, there's always challenges. There's always, what I would say, opportunities, right? Not necessarily challenges, but definitely opportunities. And a couple of those relative to AI, and when we talk specifically about Gen AI, is the quality of the data that is available to train those large language models, right? Those large language models are only as good as the data you put into it, right? And only as good as the training content that you have. And also, measurement of how good those models are. Because once again, those models could act in different ways. And so not only do we need to ensure that they're trained correctly and they have the correct data, and the more data, the better, but also that we can see that they're performing and that these are solid models that are giving back right answers, right? So this is where we have Zowe. This is a new project, and it really is not focused, just to be very clear, this is not an LLM training model. This is how can we improve the LLMs that are out there? How can we provide tools that train but then also evaluate? And let's be even more specific. It's for mainframe languages, or languages that are typically, I would call them heritage, not legacy, heritage languages for the mainframe. For example, with COBOL, JCL, or assembler. So we really want to increase the overall number of data sets that we have out there and that are valid for LLMs to be trained on. But we also want to improve their ability to understand and write code, because one of the key things that Gen AI is using, in fact, one of the top use cases for Gen AI is writing code, right? But it's not about, once again, it's not about replacing the developer, but it's about how can I accelerate the work that the developer is doing. How many times have we heard, why reinvent the wheel, right? Why reinvent the wheel? When something's already out there, but could it be improved? Absolutely. So let's leverage what's out there and improve it. And that's how Gen AI is really helping a lot of developers from a coding perspective, is it's actually generating that code for them. Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. So it then needs to go and be tuned, right? And that's where a human comes in. To tune it, reuse it, figure out what's working, but when you get that code first, when you first generate that code, the quality of that code is going to be determined on how much code and how was it trained, right? As I mentioned before, it's all about what goes in is what's going to come out. So what this project is really going to help do is to actually get those data sources, those public data sources, so that individuals and groups can use these different data sets to help train these large language models. For example, on COBOL, right? But then also host, it's not, so once again, I want to be very clear, it is not a host and it's not to maintain models, right? It's to help with the training behind it based on the data that's being fed into it. All right, and then obviously we're going to start with COBOL, but we definitely want to expand to other languages. All right, there's more information on Zowe. Once again, if you go to the press release, there's a nice link and you can see more information on it. All right, is there anybody here that is participating in Zowe right now? Anybody here who would like to? Oh yeah. All right. Well, good. Because if you want to get involved, this is how you do it. There's a little QR code so that you can get started. But we definitely would like you to contribute. If you do have COBOL code that is production quality, right? Maybe it's been masked. We don't necessarily want production quality that is not masked or is your IP. But if you do have COBOL code that is production ready and you can't contribute it, let us know. That would be great. You can definitely test your models against our evaluation framework that we already have out there and available, and then be sure to join us on Slack. All right? So make sure you have time to grab that QR code and join us in Source. All right, the next one that we announced today is all around Zowe. And this is how can we've got a lot of great open source tooling that's currently available on Linux on Z, right? We also have some that's available on ZOS. But do we have enough? Do we have enough? Are we moving at the speed that we want? No, we don't. So one of the key things that we want to do is to get this information out there around the capability of all of the tooling that is already available on ZOS, and then how can we leverage this incredible community to continue to grow that. So we have many of the, as you know, many don't already build on ZOS, so how can we make those systems readily available? How can we make it easier? How can we create, as anybody on my team will hear, you'll be shocked at what I'm going to say. How do we create the easy button? Right? How do we create the easy button for open source communities to be able to support their projects on ZOS? And that's what this project is all about, is making it easy. Identifying where are the blockers right now, and how can we remove some of those blockers. The blockers could be, just knowledge, awareness that this is out there, right? A blocker could be system access. How can we ensure we've got the system access? A blocker could just be straight up, they have no clue how to do it, and so they need technical assistance. Well, how can the community help with that technical assistance? Because it can be relatively easy to port, right? It can be. Sometimes there are challenges, but not always. So that's what this is all about. So this is to help, how can we standardize our way of managing those packages? How can we do this as an entire mainframe ecosystem community? Because it's in the best interest of the entire community to be able to bring these open source tools. All right, so I want to show you, in fact, I'm going to show the video now. Igor created this for us to give us a little bit more details on this incredible capability. but it is, it's been renamed, rebranded to some awesome Zowe. So once again, it's providing that repository for these open source tools because we do want to get the word out there that these exist, and we also want to continue to grow them. But with that, we do have Igor here. He is one of the key contributors for this project, and he also has a session on this later today, so if you want to get more information. But I'd like to ask him, tell me a little bit about what is the benefit of bringing this to the Open Mainframe Project?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, that was a great intro, Meredith. Thank you. So for far too long, I'm sure many of you, including myself, we've been impeded by the lack of open source tools. When I was working on a project called Node.js for ZOS, I encountered a lot of obstacles trying to just modernize and port that. So one of the things that we focused on with the Zowe community is to get the foundation and building block in place, but we can start building off of that and port more open source tools to the mainframe. The whole idea behind the Zowe community is to avoid the siloed mentality of each individual teams and products porting their own tools and having them remain close to source. We want to make everything open. So from the get-go with the Zowe community, everything from our source code to our packages, issues, discussions is all available on github.com. And I think because of this, we're really aligned well with the Open Mainframe Project. So we're really excited about it. And again, if you want to learn more about session at 3:30 today, we're just going to go into more details about how you can take advantage of this and how you can modernize your ZOS experience.
Awesome. So these are the types of incredible opportunities and incredible outcomes that we have when we work together as a community, and that's what the Open Mainframe Project is enabling all of these companies to do. So if you'd like to get involved, please let us know. That's what we're video with. There we go. How to contribute. So go ahead. There's the QR code. If you'd like to get involved, we can you can install the package manager, start using the ports. You can see all. If you see something that's missing, because this is very important, right? Then help us to create a port. Get involved. This is fantastic work for anyone new to Z or anyone who's looking to try and do new things with Z. Doesn't matter where you are in your journey. All right, and then definitely engage in various discussions that we have. So we really want to see the growth of this. We really want to see the adoption because not only does it enable clients to be able to do new things, but also from a vendor perspective, you can start also modernizing your environment and modernizing the way that you work with the mainframe within your shops. All right, so this is just kicking off a great program that we have planned for today and for this afternoon, which then kicks off how awesome the rest of the week is going to be for you. So we've got 2 rooms dedicated to us, this one and then the one next door. This is what we have as our schedule. As Igor mentioned, we've got Zopen, modernizing ZOS through open source at 3:30. We do have our last sessions at 5 o'clock. So be sure, please, we've got lunch here at noon. And be sure to join us for any one of those sessions. I think they're all going to be fantastic. And the presenters have worked really hard in preparing a great session for you. So be sure to take advantage of it. There's a question?
Yeah, I just also want to say at 5 that Zopen V8 port needs your help. That's not just me, that's Igor, and that's part of the Zopen community. So that's an example. It'll be a great follow-up for Igor's. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes.
There'll also be a session tomorrow at 11:30 in the pavilion in the sandbox with Igor and myself to talk about Zopen as well. So if you have questions, that would be a great follow-on to today's sessions to be able to stop by and hear from Igor and maybe ask some questions.
Great. Any other comments? Yes.
One schedule update at 1 o'clock. Michelle was able to make it, so we're going to be showcasing Zowe V3 with Joe and Rose.
Oh, yay! So that's going to be Zowe V3.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Excellent. Anything else? All right. I do have one other ask for you, and that is when you go out there, you're going to learn all of these incredible things that we're doing within the Open Mainframe Project today and this afternoon, and then you're going to enjoy, hopefully, the rest of the Tech Exchange conference. But what we would like you to do is talk about the Open Mainframe Project. Talk about it with your peers that you meet at Tech Exchange this week. Talk about it with your colleagues back at the office. Talk about it with your management team and your executives about the benefits that the Open Mainframe Project can bring to your organization and to the overall community.
So Meredith, on that topic specifically, there's a session today at, I think 1:30, it's a reflection on open source leadership, leadership in open source. And so that's a really good one, right, to sit in on, listen to those panelists, and learn something about how you might be able to take that back in, to your leadership, and how you might, get them to understand the benefits of bringing open source in-house and what it can do to grow leaders within your organization.
Because I do know that open source, it can sometimes be a little frightening, a little bit scary. People are fearful of it at first, right? But when you talk about it, you talk about the benefits, you talk about the success of it, right, with them. If you position it appropriately, it opens a whole new door into a whole new future and whole new capabilities. And that's what we're all about. How can we future-proof this? How can we continue to make this community an incredible success? And it all starts with you, our community members, and using the Open Mainframe Project to bring us together. So with that, have a fantastic conference. Thank you for listening to me for the past 30 minutes. And please, if you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask. I'll be around for the rest of the week. All right, thank you so much.